Hi there, I'm Colin. I hope you're doing very well wherever it is that you may happen to be. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much for asking. Cheers to you and cheers to me here. So here I was on a Friday night, just about to plug in some FIFA. I have a bowl of popcorn. I was going to use this to get the controller nice and greasy. This is the excitement of my life of late. And then I come across a video on YouTube. It's Body Count, which I think is Ice-T. And forgive me, I'm not an expert in these matters, but Comfortably Numb, Pink Floyd song featuring David Gilmour. Now, David Gilmour recently has put out a new album, which I've kind of been listening to with the intention of maybe reviewing it if I dig it or if I find it pretty good. So he's kind of, I guess trending would be the term for old David Gilmour. He's also been on an episode of Rick Beato's show on YouTube, which is fantastic. I haven't seen most of it yet, but he's having a bit of a moment. And meanwhile, Roger Waters is somewhere angrily responding to emails about important political issues. No, all kidding aside, I saw Roger Waters. I've never seen David Gilmour. He's on tour right now. He just did some Hollywood Bowl shows. I understand it's been a fantastic tour. They're both amazing in their own right. I just can't help but chuckle when I think about Roger Waters angrily responding to emails. Anyhow, without further ado, let's just pull this thing up and take a look at what Ice-T and David Gilmour have been doing. This is Comfortably Numb, official music video, Body Count, featuring David Gilmour. If I've got anything wrong about Body Count, I don't apologize. I have no freaking idea what it is, to be honest with you. Anyways, let's check it out. Friends always deceiving me. Is this what life's supposed to be? Comfortably numb. Oh, that's kind of cool. I think Body Count was Ice-T's metal thing, I think. That looks like a good evening. His voice is kind of like the vocal version of Dave's snarling guitar. Not me. I did a good deed 3 years ago. Fuck you, Ice-T. I'm going to heaven. That was great. So I'm always dubious, very dubious of these featuring sort of just slamming two things together to see what happens. I don't think Ice-T is any stranger to that. I think he's had some pretty famous collaborations. If I remember correctly, and correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect, Body Count was his kind of metal or hardcore punk / rap project. But you know what? If you're going to put two things as powerful together as that, so there's really three things in the room there. You've got the song Comfortably Numb, one of the biggest guitar tracks of all time. You've got David Gilmour, he's David fucking Gilmour, and then you've got Ice-T, who's Ice fucking T, who's in a very underrated movie called Surviving the Game, now that I think about it, that features Nick Nolte being Nick Nolte before he became an internet meme. You should check that out. Another good era movie around that time is one called The Edge with Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins. And anyways, that's a complete divergence. But if you're going to put those two things together, I think you can either try a whole new interpretation of them and change them around in a way that's novel and new and exciting, or you can take the best of both of those worlds and put them together. So you have the introspective, the world is coming to an end, credibility and lyrics of Ice-T, and you have David Gilmour, who just shredded the fucking guitar and provided his bits of the chorus, or if you want to call it a chorus, which he did. And he just shredded the guitar. I believe those were new guitar parts that he added just for that song. Of course, he could probably play that, with a Neolithic stone spear jammed halfway into his frontal lobe at this point. I've been browsing the internet, and it seems that the whole internet seems to think that I'm interested in archaeological sites involving skulls found with shit halfway in the skull. But that guitar part is overrated and underrated. And hold a sec. I have what is likely a very out of tune, cheap Spanish guitar here. Let's just see. Yeah, it's a bit out of tune, but there's a run in that solo, which he actually didn't play, but it's like one of the first pentatonic runs that I ever learned, and he plays it in B, I think it is. It's probably going to be horrible. I'll move it down and play it in A minor. It goes. I told you I'd butcher it. But anyways, that pentatonic run there played through my horribly out of tune and guitar and greasy popcorn fingers, and coupled by the fact that I'm not that fucking great to begin with. But what an iconic piece of guitar work. And him being able to just kind of jam on that for the duration of the song was nice. And the two things that these guys have in common, and I was just going to make a video about David Gilmour after listening to his new album, is that his voice and I think Ice-T's voice are both timeless, because they don't, like I was thinking David Gilmour already has kind of the old man voice. He never had something that was associated with youth. It was always this sage, beam down from the heavens, otherworldly wisdom kind of voice, and he never pushed. It was this ethereal, there is no pain you are receiving. And then you've got Ice-T, who's just doing kind of what he does. It's almost like a spoken word. And because of his credibility as a performer and because of his legendary status, and both of them coupled together, this comes off very good. This doesn't seem like a piece of crap. The band playing behind them was good, and I enjoyed seeing that. As soon as I saw this thing come up in my feed, I had to check it out. So please do let me know what your thoughts are in the comments about this piece of work. Would I listen to it again? Will I listen to it again? I might. I don't know. If it comes into my head again, I will. I did enjoy the sustained guitar work. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me on this video. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe and check out the plethora of other reactions and content on my channel. But in the meantime, you take very good care of yourself, and I'll see you later.